Would you like to come and see something really quite special? This is a Ferrari 296C, the C standing for Challenge. And this is a particularly exciting 296C because it happens to be the first customer delivered car that's going to be taking part in the 2025 UK Ferrari Challenge Series. Should we have a look? Now, the eagle-eyed observers of you will notice that there are quite a few styling differences on this, the 296C, versus the road-going 296. A little clue about where I'm going with this segment, because one of the things that you'll notice in a styling difference is the fact that there are, well, nowhere to put number plates. And that's not because it's not got them yet, or it's not registered, or not been sold. It has. But this doesn't need them, because where this goes, you don't need number plates. And then you'll also notice a lot more aerodynamics, things like the front splitter here and this vent, which is the back of an S duct for cooling down some radiators down here. And it's quite clever because the air will go through here, get channeled over the cockpit of the car, over the roof line and down at the back to help draw heat out of the engine compartment. And the same goes for these side vents here. Cold air goes in and hot air comes out the back here to keep it cool. And of course the downforce is more than just cooling and looking stylish. It's functional. This thing, thanks to the rear wing, the diffuser and the front splitters at the very front of the car, will produce 870 kilograms of additional downforce for this car at 155 miles an hour. And that helps it go around corners quite quickly. Now, buried deep, deep, deep right down here in the centre of the car is the beating heart of the 296 Challenge, and it's the engine. In here we've got a 2.9 litre V6. Now in the road-going version of the 296, that little V6 engine is then paired up with a battery and an electric motor. But for the Challenge car, all of that's been removed and put to one side to save some weight. But it's not short on power. And this thing is of course turbocharged, and the turbos themselves have been uprated by 10%. And at peak power, the turbos are spinning at 180,000 revolutions per minute. All in all, what does that mean in terms of actual power output? Well, I'll tell you, 690 horsepower. That's quite punchy. And with all that going power, we do of course need some stopping power. So let's go and have a quick chat about the brakes. For the 296C, there are new brakes. These are called CCM R+ discs. CCM stands for carbon ceramic material, the R stands for racing, and the plus, not really sure, possibly nosebleeds? Here we have 408mm discs on the front, and 390mm discs on the back. And the technology that's gone into these new carbon ceramic discs has dripped down directly from F1 technology. And of course, good brakes would be no good without good rubber. And luckily, Pirelli have that covered with some brand new tyre technology for all eventualities. Now overall, things like carbon ceramic brakes and a lot of carbon fibre helps bring the weight of the car down. And this is quite an impressive 1,330 kilos, that's it. Now that is dry weight, so it's going to increase a little bit once we add some fluids and of course, a driver. I warn you, this probably isn't going to look very graceful. Oh! In. Cozy. Now you can see here just how driver focused the 296C is. The driver has access to all controls, everything from radio comms to flashing lights to windscreen washers, and then even things like traction control settings you can adjust with these knobs here. And if you're thirsty, you can even hit this button and get a drink. But more than just tech, look at the safety kit. The cage and the seats have been engineered primarily for safety in mind, but it's not only safe and technologically clever, this thing's also got some luxuries. These seats, for example, are actually very comfortable. And see these air vents? It's got air conditioning. Do you reckon we could start it up? I must make it clear that typically I wouldn't usually be so touchy-feely with somebody else's racing car, but I do happen to know the owner of this exact car very well, and he has given me permission to come and have a little play. And as a result, we'll also be seeing a lot more of this car in 2025 for the UK Ferrari Challenge Series. Exciting! It's a cool thing with really cool parts. It's got cool aero, cool carbon, cool safety equipment inside. I guess all it needs now is a cool driver. I wonder where we'll find one of those.